Good afternoon, Pender County Schools families. I'm Alex Riley, Communications Coordinator for the district, here at our COVID Response Center with some very important updates for you and your family related to education moving forward. This video will cover three topics: the intent form we are asking all families to respond to related to learning for the upcoming semester, the calendars approved by the Board of Education for the upcoming spring semester, and updated mask guidance from the state for students, staff, and visitors to PCS campuses moving forward. Let's start with the intent form. As we begin to make plans for the spring of 2021, your response is critical to helping the district move forward. This form needs to be completed by all families of Pender County School students by December 13th to help us determine how many students will return for in-person learning and how many plan to attend school remotely. The form will ask for some basic information, like what school and grade level your child is in, before getting to the three most crucial details. They are as follows. Currently, this student is receiving the following instruction. You'll be asked to answer face-to-face or 100% virtual. Starting semester 2 on January 7th, I would like this student to receive the following instruction. You'll be asked to answer face-to-face or 100% virtual learning. Will this student need school bus transportation if you choose all face-to-face instruction? You'll be asked to answer yes or no. You will see some additional questions regarding what type of internet availability you have at your home. These questions are part of a mandatory report that the district must submit to state officials. It's important to note that if you opt to go to 100% virtual learning at the start of the semester, you will not be able to switch to in-person learning. In-person learners can opt to go to 100% virtual learning at any time, but cannot go back to in-person learning once the switch is made. A link to the intent form has been emailed to all families with an email address on file in our all-call system and can be found at pendercountyschools.net or on the district's social media channels by searching Pender Schools on Facebook or Twitter. The intent form must be completed by all PCS families by Sunday, December 13th. Before you complete the survey, you should be aware of what your child's school calendar will look like when the second semester begins on January 7th. Please keep in mind that the current plans these grade levels are in are subject to change based on updated mandates from the state. Elementary age students will continue to learn under the current Plan A model to start the second semester. This means all students can come to campus on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with all students learning remotely on Wednesday. For middle schoolers, Plan B learning will still be in place, with Cohort A reporting on Monday and Tuesday, and Cohort B coming to campus on Thursday and Friday. All middle school students will learn remotely on Wednesday. High school students will see the biggest change. Following a survey of current online-only students, it has been determined that the number of students returning to a classroom will be too large to maintain the two-cohort system and meet the social distancing requirements related to Plan B learning. Therefore, high school students will be divided into three cohorts, A, B, and C. However, learning will take place slightly differently from the three-cohort system high schoolers started the current school year under. Here's how it works. This is an example of a block of time in the month of March. On March 8th and 9th, Cohort A will be on campus, while Cohort B and C are learning remotely. All students learn remotely on Wednesday, March 10th. Then Cohort B comes to campus on March 11th and 12th, while the other two cohorts learn remotely. On March 15th and 16th, Cohort C will report to campus for learning, while A and B are learning remotely. After a remote learning day on March 17th, Cohort A will return to campus on March 18th and 19th, beginning a rotation cycle that will continue throughout the semester. Additionally, it ensures that each cohort gets the same number of in-person learning days throughout the semester. The only variation to the schedule is at the start of the semester. Cohort A will report on January 7th, and Cohort B students will be on campus on January 8th. On January 11th and 12th, Cohort C students will report to begin the cohort rotation. Cohort A will then come for in-person learning on January 14th. It's important that high school families pay close attention to this calendar to ensure that their student is attending in-person class with their assigned cohort. A print-off of the calendar is available at pendercountyschools.net/restartingtogether. Finally, let's review the latest guidance provided to public schools across the state from Governor Roy Cooper and the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services related to face coverings. On November 23rd, Governor Cooper outlined new requirements for those on school grounds in Executive Order 180, which updates previous information from Executive Order 169. In this newest order, it is mandated that all workers, teachers, guests, and other adults and children 5 years or older must wear face coverings both when outdoors and within 6 feet of another person unless an exception applies, and when indoors at all times unless an exception applies. These exceptions are based on medical guidance for a specific student. Additionally, on December 1st, Rebecca Blanchard, Senior Policy Advisor for the Office of the Secretary at the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, stated in a webinar with NCDHHS leaders that students are required to wear masks during recess and masks are required for PE. Mask breaks, as outlined on page 5 in the Strong Schools NC Toolkit, are still allowed and encouraged for students and staff as needed. These are described as short breaks from wearing cloth face coverings at times and in settings where risk for transmission is lower. This does mean that all students will be required to wear a mask when inside a school building or outside if they are within 6 feet of another individual, even in physical activity situations like recess or PE. These rules also apply to students taking part in athletics, both live competitions and workout settings. We know this is a lot of information to process. This video will be available on Pender County Schools' social media channels, including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as on the Pender County Schools website at pendercountyschools.net or pendercountyschools.net/restartingtogether. You can watch it as many times as possible, pull up copies of the calendar schedules and other information to make sure you're getting the right information as you make your decisions for the second semester. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and have a great weekend.